As we begin to wind down the conversation, Zambia is at 60. Singapore, 60 years ago, South Korea, China, we're far poorer. We're a rich, wealthy country, one of the wealthiest in Africa. We stand now as one of the top 20 poorest countries, beggars, highly indebted country. This is what we've done in the last 60 years. Whatever without blaming anyone, we've run down our country. We're wealthy at independence. We are poor after 60 years.
The people are poor.
The people are poor. The country remains wealthy. In the next 60 years, beginning now, what should we do right?
Well, first of all, let me just say this to you. I'm 75 now. In September, I'll be 76.
Congratulations. And you look young. You look young.
And I'll tell you this.
You should share the water you drink.
Let me tell you this. This morning, I met a colleague at one of the shopping malls. He was trying to catch up with me. I jumped in the car and drove, and he called me. It was my odd number. And he says, you're running away from me. So I said, who is this now? I turned back. He says, come back. And then I turned back. I went back to park. Who comes? Somebody that I know. We have worked together. I started up. He says, well, you're still looking strong. You're from the shake and so on. I said, no. It's because a poor man always learns how to survive. Okay. So, to cut a long story short, he says, you couldn't even see when I was trying to stop you. I said, I was reflecting on my grandsons, and my grandchildren. What will become of them? Because very soon I must leave. I must go back. What will happen to them? And I want to say this to you, Ambassador Mwamba. I will probably live this life a very sad person. And to some extent, even to myself, maybe I have not spoken as much as I should have done. Maybe I have not raised the flag as much as I should have done to warn us. I've tried to do that. It's very painful when you know. If you don't know, it's different. Probably it doesn't matter. Okay, because you know otherwise. I am very, very sad that at 60, I can understand President Kaunda, and even partly even his departure, about the amount of money that he had to spend on the wars, schools, hospitals during his time. But now, there are many of us who are educated. There are many of us who have been trained. Many of us can do a lot of other things. The economy has to change. We're a rich country with very poor people because we've not made the right decisions. I'm talking about collectively, including the current government. In fact, they're just deepening the wounds that we already have. We have made mistakes along the way. We have not protected Zambia. We have tended to protect our pockets and individuals. Talking as somebody who chaired the public accounts, most of Chalala is made out of money stolen from government. You know it, I know it. Most of the structures that are owned by our friends that were in PF, they were stolen money. Even some of the MMD, same. The same is happening right now. We are looking at what will I get out of this. I suppose for Bob Sichinga, because he can only squat in a little insaka and it doesn't matter. I don't have a house. I don't have a big house to talk about. I'm in an insaka. I sleep in an insaka. That's all I could afford. I don't know how they would make that money. And I'm an accountant, by the way. So I don't know how they make that money. I will go away a very, very sad man that a rich country of this kind of magnitude, what do you have? One of the biggest reserves, why this Lobito route is being done, is because the West wants the copper between Congo and Zambia. We have got the biggest deposit in Konkola Deep. The major challenge there is water. You have to dewater it constantly. So that's what they want. You think they're here to develop Zambia? No. They're here to get what they can get their hands on. My argument is that I want the same things they want for their children. I want it for my grandchildren too. Who is going to help me to do that? And that's why I even went into government, thinking that maybe we can correct some of these mistakes, we can be able to do something. I tried my best as Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, and also as Mayor Agriculture. I was only with the President less than 5 years. I wish I had a bit more time to do that, to try and implement some of the programs. So that's one. Number two, what don't you have? You have copper in abundance. We are a poor second to Congo on cobalt. One of the first jobs I did when I joined RCM was a cobalt plant at Chambeshi. That was my job. I did that job. It was a plant that was to produce initially 1,200 metric tons of cobalt and then 2,400 metric tons of cobalt. That was my first job. We spent $6 million on it. It paid back in 3 months.
Wow.
Okay? Before I went to Mufulira Mine.
And at the time, cobalt was far less. It was selling poorly. Yeah.
Now
it's
not
like
such a price. Okay? I know each one of those mines. I can tell you stories about each one of them. We established big farms in Mukumpu, in Mpongwe. Those were done by Nchanga farms. Why are we starving now? And yet there was enough rain in Mpongwe. Why? Wrong decisions. We've got manganese. You remember Mansa batteries. You remember Yuka batteries. In Mansa. How about Sajolite? How about the copper in Mkushi? How about nickel? How about lithium?
And the gold that's just
how about
breaking
the gold
out
that
everywhere?
we talked about in Northwestern? But what is remaining for the people there? How are we using that resource? We're giving it away to our friends because maybe we benefit from it in one form or the other, which is a conversation for another day. But how about our own people? How about our people in Western Province, in Northwestern Province where the gold is being dug and all the other products are being taken? How about the people in Wapula? How about the manganese and Sajolite? The other semi-precious stones in Lundazi? How about in Mapatisi, in Southern Province? What about them? And we can't remain beggars. I went with President Sata to South Korea. South Korea. You know how much money Samsung brings into Korea. And in 2014 when we went, 2013 when we went, they were bringing in more than $3 trillion in South Korea. 3 trillion, Samsung only. And you talk about Japan. I've been in Japan. You can see how they make nothing they have no resource to talk about. But look at Sony. Look at their companies, Tashi, and so on and so forth. Look at them. How about us? We go begging with cup in hand. This is so sad. It's extremely sad. I mean, it saddened me very, very much. And I'm saying, what is my education worth? How about my experience on the mines? Why did I break 10 years of I was 36 when I was 28 when I went to Mufulira Mine. 28. I've done the best of the years in there. And here is a rich country. Japan doesn't even have a percentage of what we have here. Same with South Korea. South Korea was offering us 57 locomotives. They say we'll rehabilitate them for you, we'll change the gauge for you so that you can take them. Just pay for the transportation. And I have not seen them here. Yes, you talked about other countries. You go now and look at the other countries like in Southeast Asia, right? How much have they progressed? They have diversified. They are now producing things on their own. They've gone exactly what we've said, value addition. What about us? Now we've got more people educated. Why is it that it's going to be more difficult now than it was in 1986 when I was in ZCCM? Tell me that. How is it possible that Norman Bazima can be Anglo-American chairman, but not here? Tell me. You just tell me. And Norman Bazima was my junior in ZCCM. How about Chileshe Kapwepwe? How about Mwila Rumbwe? Even Dan Pule? How is it not possible? Tell me. There must be something wrong with our minds. Because God has given us, this is the gift to us and our children, and we're giving it away to other people. It's very, very sad. So, you asked me the question? Well, I think each one of us takes some blame. Our leaders our members of parliament. We need to transform our country into a different situation. I wish that God would give me a few more years. Maybe I could still contribute something. But now I have to think in terms of where do I go from here? Okay? And one hopes that the new leadership that will come into our country from the next 60 years, which talked about 60 years, I don't know about the 60 years, but let's assume that they are here, that we will have another 60 years here. I am looking forward to a time when we can have selfless individuals. Countries are not built by others. Nobody is going to come from Australia to come and build the Zambia for us. No. Not
people
from
believe foreign investment to build this country.
It will not do that. China has proven to us there's alternatives. China has proven beyond any shadow of doubt. I can tell you this. No businessman coming here is doing it for Zambia's development. They are doing it for their own profitability. It is us, the citizens of this country, black, brown, whatever, it is us to make sure that we secure the future of our children. And what God has given to us is already here in our hands. It is for us to use it wisely and sensibly. Use the best methods we have. Use the best people that you have, not based on tribe. No, that we have to keep. And now we are fortunate as a country. We've intermarried so much. It will be very difficult for somebody to say we'll secede. Western province will secede. It won't secede. That I can tell you. Why? Because you have intermarried so much. How about the children? What do you do with them? And you members have also gone Southern Province. You love the beautiful girls of Southern Province. All right? So sometimes you've gone to Eastern Province and done whatever, married them from there. So what happens to the country? We're one unitary country. We need to develop what we have here. Right here, it is our duty, Mamba. You're still young, so you have no gray hair like I have. So I hope that you guys will make amends to where we've gone wrong.
Thank you very much, Honourable Bob Sichinga, an accountant by profession, an academic, a leader with immense wealth of experience that you bring to this country. And you enrich our debate, because our debate have fallen so much that we forget, we discuss a petty instead of discussing the substance, like what you have spent doing this tonight. What are your last words?
Well, first of all, I'm thankful to you that you allowed me to share this with you. You know, I've been very hesitant to come here.
Yes, correct.
I've been very, very hesitant because I feel very, very strong. I tell you, I feel very, very strong about this country. I had opportunities to go and work elsewhere. I had a job offered to me by Rothschild to be based in London and to go to South America and Africa. The year was 1980. I was just graduating from Harvard. David Piri had come to collect me at Harvard Business School. He says, here's your ticket. We're going home tomorrow. He came to attend my graduation. If you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have said, no, I'm not going back home? I had a job at that time. I was offered $160,000 from Harvard, $1,000 per annum, with shares and everything else. So here, in that country, in the UK, in USA, in South America, I would have been a little spray. Here, at least I'm a little drop in my country. I decided to come back home. Why? Because I thought I would make a contribution. So I came. I could have been, probably I would be in a big house now and so on and so forth. But even as I go back to my Lord, I am satisfied that I tried my best. I'm disappointed that I did not succeed. But I sincerely hope
No, don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
One of the reasons you are on this podcast is because of your achievements in this country. You were a distinguished first worker. You were a distinguished parliamentarian. People will never forget. They'll go back to the Hansard. You were a vice president of UPND that offered an alternative budget. You said, we can do things differently. And we just don't have to every year you do the same things. You brought alternative thinking. And over the years, like I said, you've enriched national debate. Just see the profound things you've said on this country. When the mindset in this country think that we can't run the mines, you've demonstrated here that we can run the mines. And with a spring in your foot and how gracious the Lord has been, I see many years ahead. So we hope that you will continue to contribute, you will continue to put the energy that you've put to our country. So don't be hard on yourself.
Thanks for your kind words. They are soothing, but for me, I think that there's been a lot of lost years. We've gone back, we repeat the same mistakes over
Correct.
and over and over. That is painful because it means that we've never learned from what we've had in the past. I sincerely hope the next generation will be better than us. But if